All right, guys, welcome back to Selling Frankston. Dad, how you doing? You winning?
Having a great week, Josh. Winning as always. How about yourself?
It was good. It was good. If we're talking shop,
Yep.
the RBA, they've come out. They've done.
What actually happened, Josh?
Well,
with the RBA. For those who have been living under a rock, what has actually happened?
well, some people do, and that's fair enough. The RBA have held the rates. So on Tuesday, they sat down.
Yep.
They went, guys, anonymous, we're going to hold the rates.
Great.
Do you think do you reckon, are we starting to see signs of 2023 where they held them, or do you reckon is there another raise on the horizon?
It's interesting because you talk and you see what the RBA does, and the chiefs that come out and pull the levers, whether they go up or not. There were some analysts around it. So I love watching Mark Boris, and he's Yellow Brick Road fame, very well known. He's got a podcast. Watch what he listen. I listen to what he says. He did say something interesting. He said, "Look, they came out the RBA and said, look, we're not going to increase it, but there's a chance, that possibility that there could be, and there's probably another couple more interest rates, and the last one being Melbourne Cup, which is
so we haven't seen the end of it, is what you're saying.
Well, they were alluding to that, whether that, look, unless the inflation, because they're saying the inflation numbers are still climbing, spiking. Okay. So if they continue to go at the rate of knots, well, then all of a sudden they could potentially, if they do that, well, then we've seen how that plays out in markets.
Do we reckon
in the housing market?
Like obviously 2023 and 2024, they drove the cash rate up 11 times consecutively. And that went from, 0.1 all the way up to, I think it's pretty much around the same point.
It's
we're
the
at
same
4.35 right now. Yeah. Where do you, like, obviously I remember when they held back then, it created a lot more certainty for the people out there, especially if you are loaning cash.
Yep.
If you're loaning money, you definitely need to be using the banks. It's a lever that does implicate your serviceability and your ability to spend more money on homes. Do you think, looking future and not going off the past, what do you see? How are you identifying when the market starts to shift? Because obviously we've seen it shift downward, and anyone can look at the trends and look at the market and look at the figures and this, that, and the other. How do you know when it starts to trend back up?
When it trends back up, usually you'll see some really good results in your marketplace. And what I mean by that is, take, for example, last year, we had a lot of, and it's not just our company, but other companies, they would auction a property, and vendors or sellers were very realistic in price. So they knew what the market was doing, felt that, say, for example, the property sat between, say, 8 and 850. They would quote 795 to 850, have a reserve somewhere in there. And because the market had some certainty, and, the interest rates were coming back and were coming back, all of a sudden you saw results, the reserve was, say, 795. They'll go on for 900, 950, even $1 million.
I have a question. Yep. In light of that, where did you, at the end of 2024, that's obviously when the market started to shift in Frankston and Frankston South. Yes. What sales stood out to you particularly where you saw that change?
That's a really good. I saw a lot of them. I saw probably the most interesting one we saw was at the back end of 24. It was Sharon Court. Yeah. It was an auction on a Sunday. Is it
Sharon or Charon?
Charon.
I don't know what it is. It's a CH.
And to be honest, like we just saw a lot of heat in the market, and then leading into that first quarter of 2025, every auction we did was just surpassing, like, where the reserve was. It was just climbing, and we had to adjust. So once those sales started to come in, we had to slowly increase. And what happens is when a market does shift, and I say this all the time, when you can get record results in the market, and what I mean is you're getting above what the market's paying right now. That's what, when we sell a property for someone, we want to actually get more than what the average. We want to get above, right?
If you go off just the average sale price and the average days on market, they're all averages, right? That's bad data in it and good data in it. So why would you want to?
Well, we go off, when we evaluate a property, you're going off the last 3 months of sales. So what's interesting is the statement of information. Sometimes when you put a property on the market, at the moment, there's agencies that have got properties 60, 90, 120 days. So unless they're actually redoing that, they might have the same statement of information. If they haven't changed the price from day one, they're going off results. So they could be 3 months into a campaign, but then they got results 6 months ago. It's irrelevant. because the market conditions are different. So I really think when you start to get, and this is what it comes back to, and the real hero in all of the market, and we saw it last year, or you always see it, it's when the sellers have full faith in the selling agent to mark up and frame up the advertised quote range and willing to sell it in that range. And then it surpasses and it gets a big result. And that one result, one hot day doesn't make a summer. I will say that on precedence. But when other owners take note and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, we've seen that. We're going to see that. I reckon what's going to happen, and I'll be up front, the block's coming to Mount Eliza.
Well, that's what I was going to talk to, yeah.
Now, what's interesting, everyone that I've spoken to, they reckon 4 to 4.2 is probably the magic number. They're all quoting 3.6 to 3.9. They're actually being really attractive with their price ranges.
As they should be, though. Dalesford was a flop for them. They just had old mate who's just picked them up for Danny. Danny picked them up for 2.15. He picked up the remaining two, so he bought both of them 2.15 each. So that was effectively on the day of their auction. It was 840,000 under each of those reserves.
So collectively, and this is where somewhere like Dalesford, which is regional,
wouldn't be doing auctions, would they?
No, they weren't. But
this was part of. So this is actually a really good conversation. Mount Eliza is a bit the same. Have you seen a Golden Mile auction? There was one this year. Ray White conducted it. There was one. Didn't sell it on the. I don't think that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think they sold it on the day. They sold it after though, so it still worked.
The process works. Yep.
I
think. Look, I haven't seen a Golden Mile auction
at that level.
At that level.
Yeah. I
think what's going to happen, and it's a 2-speed sort of scenario. I think with this, if Channel 9 came out and said, look, we're going to quote 4 to 4.4, they'd have the same scenario as what has happened with Dalesford. And so they've quickly realised and adjusted and gone, you know what? So I'm reading the information from all these agents, and a lot of the agents are talking, we're selling properties nearby for 4 to 4.2. That's fantastic, because when these properties do go under the hammer, there's going to be some fierce bidding.
Yeah.
Because realistically, they're at market value and maybe attractively set around maybe even 5% under. But what that's going to do is fuel a great result, and that's going to be fantastic for the couples that are each got their homes. So and fantastic for the area.
I think it's great if you are a seller and you're thinking about putting your place on the market and you're going, okay, obviously you know the conditions, you've done your research, you've got your real estimate, you got your domain estimate, all these things are telling you all these figures. Like what Dad just said, go with the agent. Have faith in the process. The agent isn't the governor of the actual sale price. There is not an agent that I've ever met that said to the exact dollar what it's going to sell for. Yeah. That is just an unrealistic thing.
We're not. There's an old saying, we're not custodians of price.
Well, we should. Why would you want an agent who's saying, here's your absolute max, that's it, this is your dollar? No, that's why you actually you put it in the marketplace, you attract the interest in, and then you have competition to fight it out. And the great thing, and I think it will be fantastic for Mount Eliza, auctions aren't prominent here, but I think when you have a building that's brand new, they'll probably have a building and pests on file already. They won't have buyers looking for finance whatsoever.
Well, you're going to have some big investors. So the other good thing is people can still buy brand new builds. Yeah. Like if it's brand new as an investment, they can still buy. So I think that's going to open itself up. Because I know that the capital gains implications are there, but you're going to get a lot of people that will be wanting to buy and buy that block home, and people that are predominantly the views that they're going to have from those. I think overall it's going to be a real success. In my opinion, it's going to be a good success. If they had the quote ranges a lot higher. Yeah. Well, then it's going to be a flop like it was at Dalesford and like it has been before.
Yeah.
And that's why when we did an auction, Josh, last week, and guess what? No one turned up to the auction in my 20 plus years. I didn't call the auction.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
It was fun. Now, what I would say is if we priced it at a level where we knew the buyers were going to come in it, we would have got it. But ultimately, we actually advised our client, look, you're not asking untoward, you're not being unrealistic. It's just the conditions of the market at the moment.
Yeah.
And the buyers are being a lot more selective. So when there's more choice, they're gonna make a decision.
The more, if you've got a good property, good home, it's not that the agent doesn't believe in your value. It's just that they need to have a strategy.
Correct.
That's clearly defined. And we don't know.
Sorry to interject. You were spot on, but you know what the most important thing is? you have a vendor, a seller that's actually in line with where you are. Because if you don't have that, doesn't matter. You can put you know how many people we're getting at the moment, and it sort of does my goat a little bit. The market conditions at the minute, Josh, how would you say they are at the minute?
Oh, if you're getting an offer on a property, you're fantastic.
Yep.
If you're getting one, if you're getting a couple, you're in a great territory.
Yep.
But I think
just quickly, Frankston South this time last year, how many sales were roughly going through?
If we got, I don't on the volumes definitely come down, but that brings me to the.
But I want to let the viewers know there was probably 40 to 50 sales last year in Frankston South in the month of July that just went.
No, it's pretty similar. So in winter this time last year is very similar with the amount of volume that moves, I think. But it's definitely...
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I looked online on REA.
But a lot of them are under offer. So a lot of them will fly back into... So this is I completely agree with what you're saying. They'll probably... How many were the month of July?
There was 9 sales versus, online. Now, I know we're now the 14th of August.
Yeah.
I would say there's a few going to filter in for August, but I would say predominantly we're probably a good 50% short of where we need to be. But what I'm trying to get back to...
That's the actual phone calling that's filming this. This is actually hilarious. I don't really know how I'm going to stop that. Just know we can keep going. They're not good. They're going to hear this, but it's okay. We've just got some beatbox music in the background.
Beatbox.
Person will stop calling. If it's mum and she calls 3 times, I'll...
But anyway. You had to do one thing, Josh. Put it on airplane.
One thing.
No, I'm joking.
Set the whole thing up.
You set the whole thing up. But getting back to my point is the market, when you have a client, and I had this client the other day and he goes, oh, look, we praise this property, good location. He goes, oh, mate, every time I sell my home, I put on a big price and it's a Hail Mary price and we'll just wait and see what happens. And I just said, mate, no worries. I said, he goes, oh, you want to put it on the market, put it on your books. I said, look, to be honest, mate, I'd be lying to you if I thought, I said, I've got buyers that probably will be where the market and above the market, but they're actually asking for a 30% increase on the market value. I think it's best to, just sit on it, mate. I thought you were wanting to, upsize. And the other thing that I sort of said to him was, I said, oh, just so you know, those, because he said, oh, I'm in Frankston South. I noticed there was a lot of sales that have come in Mount Eliza and they look really good. I said, yeah, that's right. I said, so the buyers that are looking in your area of Frankston South, suburb that was untouchable is now being unlocked and people are walking right in. So the reality is, guys, if you want to sell, listen to your agent, get the right information, get the right statistics and go, okay, how do I, because time is money.
We'll get a good, I think, like I said, do a good strategy. Right
Absolutely.
now, that matters
strategy
more. Because when you have a market that is very buoyant, interest is very prominent in an area, you can probably just get away with, if you have overpriced your property, you could probably get away with plucking a couple of buyers in that time.
In a market that's buoyant, and
what
I mean by
buoyant
is there could be a result, like we've had it happen where we've sold a property and we thought maybe it was going to be circa 1-1 and went for 1-2-5, and then the offshoot of those buyers that missed out, we were able to sell off market and got someone a high price without even having to go to market. That is a classification of a great market. The buyer pool, there's buyers out there, but there's not as many buyers per property as what there was 12 months ago. But anyway,
without doubt, if we look at I think we ran through the stats. We were 2025. We had 8.17 groups per open home.
Yep.
Nowadays, it's just under 4 now.
And some of the big firms that are taking the same statistics, their numbers have dropped as well. So it's
I think Ray White, Gavin Standall, who operates out in Pakenham, he said that their numbers are under 2 or something, or just over.
Yeah. So as I say to my clients, if you can get people through your property that are genuinely looking to purchase, you're doing well.
Yeah. All right. We're going to talk about the merchant files. We've had a lot of good feedback on this. It's ironic how many people actually don't want to talk about the market.
Yeah.
And then we actually had a really nice comment about what Frankston's doing and someone who's looking to invest. So that's always good. What we thought we'd talk about today is the postcode 3199.
Beautiful.
So let's talk about Frankston and Frankston South. I actually don't really know what we're going to be doing today. Obviously, it's been shuffled. All we do, the rules, the game that we play, we literally pick one up, read it out, and then we have to answer it. Whatever it says, it could be that it's a story, it could be that it's a yes or no, it could be about the market, it could be about a some experience. I actually don't know what it's going to be, but let's find out.
All right.
You're up first.
Ladies
Age
first.
before beauty.
Age before. Rightio. The day you knew this place was changing. Well, I remember back in the day, the postcode 3199, when we first moved into, and I've lived in Frankston for 40 plus years. I knew the place was changing. You know when I knew it was changing?
I don't know. I think you're going to tell me though.
When they put quayside in, so they demolished. So there used to be like a huge, like it was like a horseshoe.
Yeah.
And you had all this car park in the middle. And what they did, the Gandil Group came in. And when you know the Gandil Group is going to invest into the area, they built lots of money they have. They built that and put, Frankston was always a seaside suburb, but that really,
I remember that was
solidified. And that would have been when I was probably 12, 13. So I knew, geez, we're on the map.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember Mormore had her yoga studio in that little pocket, and then
that you're talking about Hoyts.
Oh, sorry, that's where Hoyts. Well, that's when I knew it was changed. The suburb you have lost more buyers to than any other. Well, that's pretty obvious. I would definitely say it's Mount Eliza, but also Mornington. Mornington seems to be a stealer because you have the combination effect. You've got a very similar price point. You can buy what you can get in Frankston, you can get in the Tantire Estate, but then you can also go and get Beachside and steal it. We get a lot of competition between those ones.
Very good. Something in Frankston that is gone now and should not be.
Like a store or a cafe or a...
something in Frankston that is gone now and should not be.
I know what I have.
What's yours?
Pancake Parlour.
Pancake Parlour.
On the PN Highway, you've got to have a big apartment complex. Can they put a commercial little building and put pancakes in?
I think...
Stitch up.
The one thing that I loved was that 21st century dance floor.
Oh, I've never been.
That was a rocking place to go to. We would play footy. You'd take your girlfriend, you'd go down, and it was like this rotating. You jump on, you slide on, and you'd see. It was funny when you'd see people dance, and they'd have a few drinks. They'd have their drinks full, and as they're coming off, you'd see them fall.
Where was that?
Always, it's still there. It's the Pier Hotel. So inside,
but they got rid of it.
No, they still got the dance floor there, but the 21st century dance floor, it was a great nightclub back in the day.
Yeah.
They got rid of it. Yeah.
Oh, they got rid. Sorry, that's what I was trying to. That makes sense. So it was a nightclub.
It was a nightclub, and they should bring it. I reckon they should revive it back. Yep.
A house you wish you had bought yourself. Oh, I'm not going to answer that. I've just bought my first house, but what you would have seen.
A house that you wish you had brought yourself.
You would have had many.
Oh, look, there was a couple. There was
You've sold over 2,000. I'm sure you've got.
One in Som Ave in Olives Hill. I was close to probably getting that. There was another one in Kirkstall. Should have.
Beautiful pockets.
And stupidly didn't. And listened to someone who probably, when I look back, shouldn't have listened to.
Should have, could have, would have, did.
Could have, would have. The sale that changed what you thought this place was worth. I remember selling one of the biggest homes at that particular time. It was called the Anchorage on the bottom of the Nepean Highway, and that sale that I was involved in back then, you're talking 22, 23 years ago, it sold for just under 1.5. So it'd be the equivalent now of say like a $4 or $5 million home. That made me realise how someone who was not from the area saw the place. That changed my perspective on what I thought the area was worth, because the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And what we were finding was at that time when I was selling real estate, I was cross-selling between Mount Eliza and Frankston South. And a lot of people were like, oh, Frankston's shit. Frankston South is shit. And
that was. Was that classic? Because I remember it was really funny. I think either you took me there or Mum took me there and we drove past it. Either we were doing drops or you had to do maybe a final inspection, I believe.
Yeah, maybe
Anyway, I remember going and going, gee, that's the houses that Dad sells. That's insane. Because I was like 7 years old. I do remember, hey, I'm reading mine out, mate. You got to wait.
Sorry.
And I actually want your answer on this one too. The best street in 3199 and why?
Ooh.
I love, if I have to narrow it down to a street, that's a hard one. It's between between Bembridge and Violet Street. The reason I love Bembridge, it's a no-through road, but you're so close to the Nepean Highway that you can just walk straight across to the water. But then I actually love Violet Street, the fact that you've got beautiful tree line, walk straight down.
Yeah.
Everyone does it's a dog walker's paradise. It just has affluent homes. The homes are beautifully kept.
Yep.
Both of those streets are just gorgeous. And Bembridge has the nature park at the end where you can walk down to the Sweetwater Creek walk, and it's a hard one. I don't know. I think I would go Bembridge. If I could buy, I'd probably go Bembridge. What about you?
Yamala. The pocket everyone avoided that you would buy in tomorrow. The pocket everyone avoided that you would buy in tomorrow. Well, I remember back in the day, and there was another property I didn't buy, and I regret. And it was, everyone was avoiding it at the time. And that's going back about 20 plus years ago. That was Gould Street, believe it or not. It was a high density in terms of, there was a lot of drug.
You'd buy it tomorrow though?
That you would buy in tomorrow. Yeah, well, I'm saying like back then, everyone avoided it. They weren't wanting to buy there because the neighbours.
So the question is, would you have bought it back then or buy it today? You're basically saying you would have bought it back then because it would have been worth a bucket load now.
That's where I'm going with it, Josh.
So I had the same thought
the pocket
with Frankston
everyone
North.
avoided that you would buy in tomorrow. I would say
It's a question for affordability and
the
value.
pocket everyone
So I
avoided
actually
that
really
you would
wanted-
buy in tomorrow. I think there's a place called Marylands, and people have avoided that because of the train line, and it's sort of tucked in between Cranbourne Road, and there's some. It's got a lot more investors in that market, and they've the pocket everyone has avoided that you would buy in tomorrow.
I'd go to the Golden Triangle in Frankston.
Okay, yeah, cool. There you go.
No, I just think that
What a
is
shit question. Let's move on.
It's a really good question. What you have to explain to every buyer coming down from town? Oh, Frankston always.
Damo's not at this. Damo and his
Damo's
ciggies-
left his
Damo's
ciggy butt
not
brain gone from
he's gone
Frankston
from
now.
Frankston.
He's gone down to Crib Point. No, I'm joking. I think that Frankston now is standing on its own 2 feet with its reputation. I think we're on the up, and you see the sort of commercial not buildings, but the tenants that are coming in. It's speaking wonders for the area. So yeah,
that's good.
It's on the up.
Where the line actually sits between Frankston and Frankston South. This is an interesting one. Where the line actually sits. So you talk to people, it's funny, and I'll explain to those viewers that actually don't reside in 3199. I know people that live in Frankston, right? So they're south of the Frankston football ground. So you got, beautiful Kinetic Stadium.
South of Frankston.
And then you go down. And they could be on their address is Frankston. So there's one road, and that is
What is that road, Dad?
It is
Warringah.
It is Warringah. So you got one road is
one side's
Frankston, one side's Frankston South. Now you go straight down. So you draw a line right across Warringah, and it goes down through to the cliff.
Yep.
Interesting, there was a house that sold for 5.2 million last year, and that was in Frankston. But on the other side was Frankston South. But I know people that are down on this side, and when you talk to them and they go, so where do you live? Not everyone, but I would say 50%. They go, we live in Frankston South. And when you go, okay, where do you live? And they'll say, I'm such and such Cliff Road. I'm like, I know that's Frankston. Oh, yeah, but we're Frankston South. And I understand and get that because when they purchased the property, about 15 years ago, the ACCC stopped that. And that was when realestate.com came in. And they because we used to, it was funny, when real estate, I don't think I've ever told you this, we'd go to people's homes, and because you've got Frankston South, you've got Oliver's Hill, and you've got the Golden, we would be in our the
as
back
a real
end.
estate agent changing all the words. To make it
so
sound
you would
better
have
than it
Frankston
was.
South. So you had
It's
people,
typical, isn't it?
you
I'm
had
joking.
people, you had agents that were listing properties in Lakewood saying it was Frankston South, right? And so the ACCC came in and they said, hang on, we've now got to put these, like, they geo-mapped everything. And so I remember we did an auction, 17 the Esplanade, beautiful home. It was in a bare I sold it to these FIFOs in WA. We auctioned it. In the first 2 weeks, I had over 60 groups because it was Frankston South. ACCC came in and said, well, REA, we're changing all the parameters. This is now Frankston. Now, at that time, the property was worth $1 million. As soon as I went to Frankston, we were getting, I kid you not, Josh, we were getting 35 groups at first open. Second open, we had 26. The next open, after the rules had come in, 2 people. And then we had the week of the auction. Luckily, we got in. We weren't to know. It was just fate. Sold it at auction after post-auction for 1.16.
Oh, so you still got a great.
So we still got a great result. But
there
those
is
buyers,
that.
but
it does bring it back to what are you explaining when people come from town? Well, great thing is you've got high-rise apartments going straight in and selling for north of 4 or 5 mil.
Well, that's the other thing. Exactly. And the other thing we need to tell people also when they're coming in. So
the hospital.
You talk about the hospital, but I will say to people, hey, guys, do you know Frankston South? And they go, yeah, we just want Frankston South. And I'll say, hey, guys, there's an area from the Car Street football ground all the way up. If you don't realise, if you're not putting in the geo searches, you're missing out on some wonderful property.
Well, we sold one on Moringa, and on the Google map, it had it as Frankston South.
Yes.
And it was actually Frankston. So,
Yes.
and I reckon that would have hindered its ability by... What would you call it? If that was in Frankston South, it probably would have been an extra 50, 60,000 just on the other side of the road. So definitely does cost a little bit on the line. Something that could have only happened at a Frankston open home. Oh, there's been bloody plenty. I don't know. That's a great question, but there's been a lot. I reckon you'd have some. Oh, talk about your mate who kicked down the stand. Was that? No, that was
Seaford.
Oh, it's arguably Frankston.
Well, doing a property, I remember doing an open for inspection, and I had a drug deal happening right in front of me. And the guy was like, hey, mate, you're a real estate agent. You got heaps of cash.
So he's assumed
what's your poison? he rolled out, and he had all the paraphernalia out on his table. And I'm like, mate, I've got people waiting outside. I need to go. And he goes, no, mate, I'm got to pull a billy. And I said, what's a billy? And he pulled out his apparatus and choked down a bong and blew it all out. And that could only happen in Frankston. But anyway, the Frankston you would show someone who has never been here. Well, I can tell you now.
Not the train station.
I would love, not the train station. Going down Oliver's Hill. So I would, sort of take him away from that cliff. I would actually go to the back. I'd go up Car Street, down Baden Powell, go stop at Norman Ave, Flourish, have a coffee there and say, hey, guys, I want to show you something. And then go out.
Or better yet, just jump on Instagram and look at our page. And we have a very good Meta Glasses video of me driving down.
It went nuts. But going down, pulling into the side access where you look over the beautiful bay right across to the CBD, you're looking at the beautiful crystal water. It's incredible. And look, I've been there where, it's crystal clean. You can see all the snapper coming in. It's amazing. The fish, it's a healthy marine life. But then I would also take him to areas like the hop shop, Bang Bang.
I was going to say, go get a beer, go watch the footy a little bit, then go to Bang Bang,
go to the deck,
go to the movies.
Go to the movie. There's so many great restaurants. I mean, it's incredible. But anyway.
What would you tell someone buying here today that they will thank you for in 10 years? Well, this area has 2 major shopping precincts, one of the best healthcare hospitals on the peninsula, if not arguably Melbourne, and Frankston's going to be $1 million suburb very, very soon.
Absolutely.
It also has one of the best beaches in Victoria.
Yeah.
What are we talking about now? And you're going to have high-rise apartments coming in the next 3 years that are going to make this place, put it on the map, and then they're going to make it a destination spot because they're cutting the Nepean Highway into 4 lanes to 2. Just buy into the area.
I think anyone who's on the Nepean Highway, at the moment, you got 3 lanes. When we first moved, we lived in Canberra.
It is 3 lanes. I've had a mental break.
There was 3 lanes. And when they cut it back to 2 and they can extend the footpaths, it'd be very similar to Lygon Street. You can lower the traffic etc. The worst thing anyone has said to you about Frankston, well, shit, I've had that many people bag out Frankston over my time, and they've never actually experienced Frankston. And the worst thing,
That's like an online bully.
the worst thing anyone has ever said, where do you go? Like, I mean,
our posts showed it. We had that much crap on the post driving down to Frankston.
Oh, yeah. Look,
Go to the station. Look at the needles.
there's the worst thing, junkie city, you know, all these sort of things. But you know what? Let them talk bad.
To be fair, remember when we were living on Green Street?
Yeah, that was a different story.
That was funny.
That was funny.
A local who taught you something about this place. I mean, I've had a lot, but I don't think there's one. I think Frankston, it's all about the people, and when you actually experience it and you live here.
I must say there was a guy who walked around as a wrestler. Remember that guy?
Oh, he was sick.
He had a Facebook page, and it was like, I don't know where he's gone, but we also had a Rod Stewart. Unfortunately, he passed away. Rod Stewart used to he was a dead ringer. So we had a lot of what I love about Frankston, and this is what I love, is so many great individuals.
Characters.
Yeah. That's what it's about.
You got Juan Merchant. He's got his fresh suit now.
The best value street in 3199 right now. Name it, Josh.
The best value street in Frankston.
In 3199 right now.
It's a great question. I just don't know. I haven't thought about it that much. What about you? What would you name it?
Violet.
Yeah. Big blocks.
Cliff. I reckon
everything
right now, right this minute, best value is you're going to regret it, and you've heard it here first on the potty. Buy as soon as you can, because I think and I believe that when the weather gets better, as we know, it's only going to get better and better. So, all right. A knock on Frankston that is actually fair. Well, it's fair to say the front of the Frankston.
You got Damo, mate.
Damo and his mates and Siggy Butt Brains down at down near the train station right opposite there. That there is actually fair. You see some absolute friggin' drongos, and look.
Well, we just talked about characters. There's
characters there. Look, there's actually some really good people. Overall, look, you do see that, but look, that's an actual fair assessment. As a parent, 4 kids, 2 girls, 2 boys, you always want your kids to be safe. I've always felt that knowing the area and having walked through it and been through,
we've lived. How many spots in Frankston did we live? You were young when you had me. You can say that. You had no idea what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I rented quite a few properties. I was in High Street, Screen Street,
Frankston Cranbourne. Yeah,
Frankston Cranbourne Road, Bayview.
Do you know how many fond memories? I remember this. Do you remember that one time at Frankston Cranbourne Road when we went to Bellin Park?
Yep.
And I had the footy and I was kicking at the basketball ring, and you're like, you won't kick this in. And I snapped it, and I just had to prove my point. I was like, mate, I'm Joshua Merchant. Are you forgetting this? What are we doing?
Well.
But I have very fond memories. Yeah. And if you move to St Kilda, it's the end of the train line right now. You go to the Flinders Street station.
Yep.
What's there? Like, have you been to Flinders Street lately?
Look, let me tell you, it's a shithole up there.
But Frankston's actually, we've got a lot of, I get it from a safety standpoint, we've got a lot of security, we've got the cops there. It actually, they're there to help. Obviously, there is going to be that sort of stuff. They are still trying to electrify this train line, which has been on the verge for it's on the major projects on the council page.
Are you talking electrified from Frankston to Stony Point?
Yep. Yeah. So
and I think the areas that flow from down there is going to be better. I think, look, you can knock Frankston all you can, but I tell you now, Frankston is like Rocky Balboa. He'll just keep getting back up. And I fucking love Rocky.
That's a really good one.
And I'll tell you now, it ain't
I'm
always
I don't know
sunshine and rainbows. It's how hard you get hit and how hard you can keep going and move forward. And I tell you what, Frankston is our Rocky Balboa.
Oh, it continues to get hit, but it does get up. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And you know what? And I think 3199 postcode in years to come, people look back at this and go, why didn't we listen to these two clowns? But anyway.
Guys, that
Josh.
wraps this one up. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you have any questions about the market, you want to reach out, we'll put our details in the description. I don't know where we put it, but we'll put it down there for you guys.
We'll put it down there.
And if you have any real estate questions, you need an appraisal, anything like that, looking to
DMS.
buy,
Yep.
we would love to know what you're looking for because there are some, like we said, and we've been saying, there's a lot of properties on discount rates right now. And when the market does turn, we're going to start seeing some great sales.
And the questions we often get asked, and we're more than happy to provide really good intel, is do we buy or sell first? So that's something that's real critical in a market that is shifting, whether it be the market going up or down. So reach out. We're happy to provide as much information and intel, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
I don't need to do the outro now. That's all done. Thank you, guys.
Adios.
Adios.